Well, so what's the commonality between Wu-Tang, Apple, and Nike? It's pretty obvious to me, and perhaps that's part of my brand of madness. Um, is that I see these things and I wonder why no one else does. And then I'm disappointed. But I realize later on in life that it's me, not them. Don't hold them to the standards and observations that I see. But it's pretty simple when you think about it, right? Like when you say Wu Tang, what pops into your head and what do you feel? When you say Apple, what pops in your head and what do you feel? Here, feel here, right? Thinking, seeing, feeling. Nike, same deal. For better or worse, they all kind of dominate a category or did. No, Wu Tang is not Wu Tang really the way it was in the '90s, but they're still around kicking ass. I saw them last year, and that was so epic. But they've established a brand that means something to people, like them or not. That brand makes you think, see, in your mind's eye, and feel something. There's nostalgia. There's status. There's a reputation. There's a lifestyle associated with these brands. You wear a Wu-Tang shirt, you're saying something. You crack a MacBook Pro at a coffee shop, you're making a statement. You're rocking Nikes. I think I have one pair of Nikes. I think I'm a bit of a sneakerhead. I have a pair of Kill Shots. You're making a statement, right? They've been able to create a lifestyle reputational brand around what they do. Just three different things. Wu-Tang did get into the merch. Maybe they got into tech too. I don't know. But the association of these three very different brands is what they've been able to accomplish, right? In the market, in people's hearts and minds and souls, they feel it, right? If you like Wu-Tang, then you hear Wu-Tang today or seeing them last summer, throwback, remembering the first time I heard them, remembering what my favorite tracks were, remembering the side projects they did. If there's an emotional connection there. Thinking when I was a kid and then my dad only took me to get Chuck Taylors. Meanwhile, I have Chuck Taylors here on my feet today. I wore more Chuck Taylors than any other footwear combined, all of them combined. I have white low tops now and others. But I remember I wanted Nike so bad growing up in Philly. I was playing sports. I was running track in black Chuck high tops. I wanted Nikes, and then I got Nikes. And then when I got to high school, even before I was into punk rock, so I was wearing Chucks again. But I had Nikes to go play sports. And I remember I had Asics running the spikes for track freshman year of high school. And I remember a guy had on a pair that had the gold swoosh on his Nike ones. And he said, Nike, he's like, those are all right. I was like, Asics are the shit. He's like, they're all right. But Nike knows something about style. That's vibe. There's a vibe there. Same thing with Apple, right? The Apple fanboy stuff, the phones, the laptops, the computers, the tech, sexy, right? There's a vibe there. And that vibe is something that is attractive to people. I want to be seen with it. I want to be known to be in that tribe, to be in that village of people that rock an iPhone, not a whatever else there are. That's an association. You want to be part of that brand. And we all brands have that ability, right? As individuals all the way up to huge companies. You want to be clear about what you give a shit about, what's cool, how you show up, how you roll, because that's going to attract the people to you that appreciate that. This is like a segue into what so many marketers talk about brands need to do, or questions like, what's your differentiator? I don't have one. Because when you create a differentiator, especially as a marketer, you're actually creating risk. You're creating risk because you're seeking something to say, I'm different And it's usually some nonsense like our people or our process, our ingredients, gluten-free, whatever, right? Those are just conditions. And those are like validators. Like if you're going to buy, if I'm buying food, I want that shit to be organic. Like as much as possible. Clean, organic, I don't want any chemicals, any bullshit, any processing. Okay, so that's not why I'm picking that. That's a condition. Why I'm picking that product, something about the brand spoke to me. So it's distinction. It's not differentiation. What makes you distinct from all the other options? And those conditions do matter, right? I want my MacBook Pro to be more powerful than I'll ever need. So I never max it out. It's running out of space, so I might have to get a new one. But like, I want it to be more powerful than I ever need because I don't want it to limit my work abilities and capacity, right? But also I want to be seen with it. So what makes a brand distinct? Like Wu-Tang versus, Tribe Called Quest or Beastie Boys or all these like small conglomerates that they build, right? Like, super groups, right? Like, what makes them different? It's the personality of them plus their intellectual property. Intellectual property, like what's the intellectual property does the Wu-Tang Clan have? Motherfucker recognize because they set the standard of how to deal with the record companies, but they also created music that's almost peerless, right? They merged like these cheesy kung fu movies that we used to watch back in the 80s to hip hop music and beats and, just killed it on the mic. So like, what's that intellectual property? The intellectual property is a technical term for the value you provide to your customers or your clients, your IP, right? And so the Wu-Tang Clan, their IP plus their personality and vibe. Would I roll with Wu? Yeah, right? Like, same thing with Nike. Like, what's the difference between Nike and Adidas? It's vibe. They sell the same shit, but there's some people who are strictly Adidas. I have Adidas tracksuits, right? Do I have a Nike tracksuit? Nope. Did I wear shell tops a million pairs growing up with my Chucks? Yep. Right? There's a vibe there that I want to have. I want a part of my personality. I want a part of my reputation, which is my brand, right? And Apple, right? The same thing. Apple's IP is the value they provide to me, plus their personality. That makes them distinct from Microsoft or whatever other computer you want to get, whatever other phone you want to get. So that's like the secret that really no one is really seeing. What makes these brands similar is they get that. And what makes a struggle for other brands is that they're like, how do I sell more things? And that is an indicator by selling more or less of the strength of your brand, that magnetism of your brand. Is it attracting the right people? Is it distinct from the other options? Market share is simple. It's a popularity contest. The more popular you are in the market, the more market share you have. That is something to meditate on hard for CEOs. Hard. Meditate on that hard. Not how can we sell more, but how can we grow market share? How can we grow in our category? How can we dominate the category? How can we build a category and then defend it? What are those things that we need to do? Right? And it all comes down to, who are we? What do we give a shit about? Who are we for? What do they give a shit about? And when you're clear on those simple terms, intrinsic, extrinsic, there's an overlap there. There's an opportunity to build a relationship. And people are like, oh, Bobby, how the hell do I build a relationship with millions of customers? I just told you. You keep it real. You keep it real about what you give a shit about, align with what they give a shit about, and clear about the problems you solve or the value you bring, and you do it your way. You do it in your personality and your vibe. And that is the differentiator, right? It's distinction.